What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, we are live. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook Live. Everybody out there listening to 107.3, it's the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Good to have you guys joining me this morning. I am out of the studio, on the road, doing the Jaguar Journal live from Chicago, Illinois. I'm way up north. A little jealous. I know you guys are enjoying the warm weather down south. Let me tell you, it's not so warm all the way up here. It's starting to warm up. But snow when I first got here in Chicago earlier this week. So you guys continue to enjoy that weather and just realize, hey, it's still cold in other places. I had one of my friends text me yesterday, say, man, the pool was jumping. I said, ain't nobody even thinking about a pool up this way. So good morning to you guys. And I know a lot of people listening all around the world, around the United States, any and everywhere, because you're able to listen on our YouTube and Facebook. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love to have your support, able for you to go back and watch any of our previous episodes, be able to keep up with us. We also take segments for the show and put it on there, do shorts. And Brandi and I are trying to do some different things with it. She's unable to join us today. She'll be back next week. She's handling some business this week, but Brandi will be back next week with me. So I'm holding down the fort today. And once again, my guy Mike, extraordinaire, holding it down right there in the studio. So I appreciate you, Mike, holding it down back there in Baton Rouge. And good morning to everybody. Hey, it's been a big week. Been under a rock if you have not been paying attention to the news. And I guess the news may be under a rock because I didn't see a lot of attention to it. Southern University, a victory over LSU in baseball. Nationally ranked LSU, defending national champ. Southern University coach Chris Crenshaw, and the Jaguars going over to what my guy Roger Kadar used to call it, the Taj Mahal of college baseball. That is Alex Box Stadium. Great win, 12-7 for the Jaguars going on the road. Their first victory since the early 2000s over at LSU. And that was a great win for the program, great fight. Of course, if you've seen LSU, they're struggling this year. They're splitting a series right now with Vanderbilt. They got the Thursday win and then got the win, lost last night. For Southern, on the other end, riding a 5-game win streak. They're hosting UAPB this weekend. So later on in the show at the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to Southern University head baseball coach Chris Crenshaw to talk to us about what has gotten into the Jaguars as they're riding a 5-game win streak, hosting the Golden Lions of UAPB this week. So if you're not doing anything right, a lot going on the yard, especially not only just baseball. We're going to have Coach White at 7:30. He's going to talk to us about the Pelican Relays. Pelican Relays started yesterday, back on the campus of Southern University for the second year, and they have things off and running. So Coach White is going to talk to us about that. And then, of course, I got to get my homegirl, Coach Brittany Williams, Coach Williams of the Southern University softball team. When we come after this break, she's going to come on and give us an update of what's going on with Southern University softball, give you guys, hey, basketball is over with for us. Of course, everybody watching the Final Four, but softball and baseball and track and field are still going on, so we got to keep an update with that. And then later on in the show, of course, my guy Jim Prime Peter, coming from the Advocate, is going to give us a Southern University spring football update. The Southern University spring football game next Saturday on the campus of Southern University. So you guys get ready. Action-packed show. I'm glad to have you guys here once again. I'm on the road. I'm in Chicago, so y'all bear with me. If it go in and out or whatever it is, I got this good intention in my heart because I woke up this morning in love with the Jaguars, and I hope you did the same as you tune in. So we get ready to take a break. We're going to come back on the other side. Coach Williams, Southern University softball coach, is going to give us an update on what's going on with Southern University softball. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
Danny Johnson, first and foremost, outstanding young man, great character, great young man. Can't say enough about him. Great father. You always see him, hanging around with his son and spending time with his son and his family. As a player, I can't say enough about him. He has all the athletic ability that you would want in a kid with playing corner, the footwork, speed, all the intangibles.
I have a good work ethic. It's been a lot of times, in the off season, I gotta just push myself to go work out. Even if nobody else was out there, just to get an extra push when we get back into the season. Because I always want to have that edge over everybody else. So, it's just that mindset that I have. I want to be one of the best. So, I gotta push myself. If anybody else does. And it's like a lot of stuff that I want to do with my son that I can't do because I'm playing ball. So my biggest return to him is just, having him come to games on Saturday. He can see his father play in front of, thousands of people. It makes him happy. So whenever he's happy, I'm happy. But just when I get the chance to just go home and, hear everything, he's been doing in school and, what he likes and doesn't like, it just brings me back to that fatherhood of just being around him, and that's what I like to do. I put academics over football because, I can't play football forever. At some point, I'm going to have to rely on that degree. So, that's my biggest thing, and that's one reason why I came to Southern, to get that degree. So I set myself up to where I'll be able to graduate right after the season. So if football doesn't work out for me, I can always come back and go to grad school. So, education is a big thing for me.
Danny Johnson put Southern University on a, national stage. Obviously, everybody knows about Jag Nation and Southern University, but you'll see Danny Johnson playing on Sunday one day, and he'll be able to be an ambassador, for the university.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal. We are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Of course, I'm Perry White. Good to have you guys joining us this morning. Shout out to everybody watching on our Facebook Live, our YouTube Live. Be sure to go hit that subscribe button. And now, as we keep the show going, she comes on the show.
I consider her my home girl. Southern University head softball coach, Coach Brittany Williams. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I'm saying my home girl. We've only met a handful of times. I love anytime you come on and give us an opportunity to talk to you and give us an update with softball. You guys are hosting, playing UAPB softball this weekend. Talk to us about the program and where you guys stand currently.
Yeah, so right now they have us ranked as 4th out of 6 on our side. Like I tell my players, that's because the 2 people ahead of us also are 1 series behind us. But UAPB is right above us. So this series is very important in regards to ranking.
You look at your team right now, you guys have lost straight, but you guys have had some success this year. What are you learning about this team? You're in the thick of things when you're talking about the SWAC conference. You're talking about the seeding, where you guys are at in the standings. What are you learning from these young ladies as the season progresses?
These young ladies, they're resilient. I told them that yesterday. Our team has gone through so much as far as, like, the last time I came on, spoke to you about the injuries and how we had people different places. And those injuries are still prevalent, and they still are finding a way to win. So very happy with their ability to just navigate the game. If I need you to go to short, go to short. If I need you to go to the outfield, go to the outfield. And I also have a catcher that she'll play right, she'll play second, she'll play short, she'll be behind the plate. So that is kind of our bread and butter this year. So it could have been something that they looked at as a crutch, but they have used it as an advantage for us. So very proud of them.
You look at your staff and yourself having to make those adjustments as the season go on and get people in different places. Talk about what that's like when you guys are in your meeting as a staff, having to make these decisions on being able to evolve with the game, and not only that, make a decision on who to move around.
Yes, it's very open. At this point, none of us have any bad ideas. So something that we might have mentioned earlier in the season that we all laughed at, it's like, oh, well, it's reality now, and it's all how you present it to your players. We presented it to them in a fun, welcoming way, and they received it. At practice, we was like, okay, we're gonna have a shortstop tryouts. Let's go. So they were all excited about it. So in our meetings, getting together to brainstorm and taking our knowledge from the film and taking our knowledge of our players, we pretty much still are all on the same page with that. So it's been fun.
All right, now give the people an introduction as you go around. You're talking about these young ladies who have been able to adjust on the fly, whatever you guys put in front of them, the names of some of these young ladies and how they've been able to adjust moving from position to position. And who's standing out to you so far as you get through conference play?
Yes, the first one that comes to mind is Jacelyn Frazier. Jacelyn is a sophomore. She's a first baseman, but lately has been playing third for us and literally, like, killing it. It was she told me in practice, like, Coach, I played third and 8U. I was like, okay, cool, let's get back to it. And she's been enjoying it with a smile on her face, doing excellent at the plate. Couldn't ask for a better person or athlete. Alyssa Castaneda, who is my original shortstop, she's been moving between the middles, short and second, and her knowledge of the game she shares with everyone. So no matter where she is, even if she is out for a game, she speaks to everybody on the field, make sure they know what they're doing, know where they're going, and is constantly involved with every play, no matter where she is. Alani Otley, who is my original third baseman, who has been moved to short. She also plays a little bit at second as well. Her knowledge of the game, I could put her anywhere. Outfield, she has the speed, she has the range, and just her ability to play with a smile on her face definitely is helpful to the team. So those are the three that stand out to me the most.
Now you look around, that means you're also having to go deep into the roster in order to keep things going. Who is stood out that you didn't quite expect to stand out so soon in this season? Maybe one of the young ladies that are more freshman, newer to the team for you.
Yes, I want to say Bailey Rock. Bailey is from Texas. Didn't play much earlier in the spring, but has been involved in roles a lot lately. When we were at Alcorn, we needed 2 more runs to gain a 10-run lead, so we can get out of there. And she stepped up to the plate and scored the 2 runs. Asked her to go to second. She played at second. She also was one of the people that we called on. We had bases loaded to win the game, the last game at Alcorn. She didn't have the outcome that she wanted, but she battled. She had a 3-2 count, battled to as much as she could, and still keeps her head up every day, smiling at practice. So she has definitely come off the bench and contributed a lot.
You love anytime you get your younger players able to step up and contribute, especially in tough situations. As you guys are going through SWAC play, give us a recap of what SWAC play has been like for you guys so far. I know I had an opportunity when you hosted Texas Southern at home, came out and saw you guys, and Texas Southern has traditionally been a pretty good softball team in this league, but I saw you guys dominate them. But talk about the conference play and what you guys have seen from conference teams so far.
The SWAC conference in general, we all have elevated. The coaches that are now in place, we all have a common goal of winning. And the thing that I love about us as coaches is anytime that we're playing somebody outside of our conference that's considered a higher level and we take that win, we're all texting each other. Congratulations. You did great. We're definitely motivating each other and trying to grow the conference as a whole as far as softball play. So definitely doing well there. And what that means in conference when we're playing each other, normally there'll be a few teams that are guaranteed wins, and that is not the case this year. Every series has been a fight. You're never going to know where you're going to land until that last weekend hit. So everybody's trying to it's only 4 teams from each side that make it to conference tournament, and there's 6 teams on each side total. So we're all fighting for one of those top 4 spots. So SWAC play has been, I would say, very interesting this year, entertaining, and fun to watch.
I'm going to say this, because my mom's alma mater is UAPB, right? She's a Golden Lion through and through. Yeah, I'm a Jaguar. She's a Golden Lion. Don't beat up on them too bad. I want to brag, but don't beat up on them too bad. So that's my mom's alma mater. But, overall, I'm looking at you guys finding ways, as you said, to be able to adjust to what's being thrown at you. As you continue to push forward, the coaching staff coming together, and then one thing you said, there's no bad decisions at this point. Nothing's bad out there in terms of what you guys are throwing on the table. As you move forward, what would you like to see more from your team as you continue to go through and you push towards the end of that season to get that one of those 4 spots?
I always tell them this, position hitting does not have a position. So maybe you used to play third and now you're at second. That's a little different, but at the plate, it's always going to be the plate. So that's something that I feel that the team needs to be a little bit more consistent in. We only scored 1 run yesterday. We had several opportunities where we got the leadoff runner with no outs and did not execute to move the runner. So that is what we are focusing on is scoring runs. So that's what's going to help us win ball games.
I always love, because with these young ladies, with this whole young generation, you're talking about social media. You guys have a social media presence, right?
Yes, for sure. That is something that Jesse and I, my pitching coach, we brought in when we first got hired. Nobody knows that you exist unless you have social media out there. So we try to make sure that we get those players in the limelight that they deserve. Several of them, because of that, have several NIL deals. So that beats the narrative when people are coming and saying Southern doesn't have NILs. Yes, we do. And that's on all levels, too. So that is very important for us. It's a very important recruiting tool. So when I talk to recruits, I always tell them to follow us at SU Softball _ you can get to know me personally outside the game. You can get to know my players, because it's very important that you choose a school that you fit into. So you need to see, hey, what are these players like? Do our personalities similar? What's a day in the life of school like? So we show all of that on social media.
The world of social media. I mean, you can really learn a lot about a team. And then, I'm not the biggest, and I must admit, I'm not the biggest follower of softball, but it is definitely entertaining to go out there. So I would tell anybody, you guys have UAPB this week at home. Tell the people the times and how to get tickets or whatever else to come out and support you young ladies. Support those young ladies as well as yourself and your coaching staff. Yes,
this weekend is a great weekend at Southern. We start off with tennis at 10 a.m. this morning, and then we're at 12. Baseball's at 1. The Pelican relays are going on all day today, so you can just walk up to any facility, grab your ticket, and enjoy the day.
Coach, as always, I appreciate you for coming on. I know you have such a busy schedule. I appreciate you coming on, giving everybody an update. And if you guys ever need anything, like I always say, this platform is here for you to be able to use. We have listeners all over the place, so you never know a contribution and where it may come from. So you're more than welcome to use it anytime you need it, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that was the voice of Coach Brittany Williams. I want to thank you for coming on, Coach Williams. Get out there and go to the South Bar. Go check out those young ladies. 12 o'clock first pitch today. So thank her for coming on. When we come back, we're going to have Coach White talking about the Pelican relay. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White. And what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy. No pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes, makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down in 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards. Levy on 3rd down. Looking down the sideline. Yes, sir. Big time player.
Guys, stepping up like they're going to.
All right, good morning to everybody. We are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Of course, I'm Perry White. I'm on the road. I'm in Chicago this weekend. But guess what? It don't stop nothing. The Jaguar Journal can be done anywhere just the same way you can listen to it anywhere. So good morning to all our people and fans and supporters and lovers listening to us on our YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, as well as everybody watching on our Facebook Live. Good to have you. And as we continue to keep the show going, guess what? Big weekend in Baton Rouge. It's the Pelican Relays. You know what that is. It's time for track and field events, and nobody greater to talk about that event than the head guy himself, Coach White, my cousin from down south. What's up, Coach?
Nothing much, Cuz. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I hate I'm not in town to be able to check out the Pelican Relays this weekend. I'm up north checking out, talking to our other family up here in Chicago, but I know you holding it down there for all of us.
I'm holding it down. But I know you're gonna be here for SWAC championship, so I know you're gonna be there to show off that good positive energy for us.
With my blue and gold on, you better believe it. The Pelican Relays on the campus of Southern University. First, Coach, just for the people out there who may not understand the Pelican Relays or the history of the Pelican Relays, before we get into it, just talk to us about the Pelican Relays first and what that event actually is.
The Pelican Relays is huge. The Pelican Relays started in 1959. It's been going on over 50 years. Over the past few years, we haven't been having the Pelican Relays because we wanted to upgrade our facilities and bring back something on the bluff that was very, very special. And, it's been going on for a while, and it was a huge thing. And everybody always, when they talk about track and field, they always talk about the Pelican Relays being on the bluff. And we just so proud for this to be the second year that we brought it back. Our administration got our new track and everything and got all that situated. And we're just excited about that. And the kids excited just to even compete on the bluff. That's huge for us to compete in front of our home.
All right, so we got the history lesson of the Pelican Relays, how big it is and what it means to Louisiana sports, especially on the track and field side. Now, as we get into the relays, who are participating in the Pelican Relays this year?
We got that school from up north. They're going to always come down and support. We got Alcorn State, got Southeastern Louisiana University. We got Dillard. We have Xavier. We have the Centenary. And we have Nichols brought a few kids down. So, and of course, that blue and gold, Southern University.
Can't go wrong with that. Let's look at the overall event of track and field, right? Track and field events are going on all over the place, but right there in Baton Rouge. What are the different events, and how did day one go for you?
Day one went really well. Day one went really, really well. We actually had the hammer throw. All of our hammer throws out of the four came out in PR yesterday. 2 freshmen threw big for us, and those 4 young ladies are sitting at the top 10 in the conference right now. We actually had the javelin win on yesterday. Also, we had a new guy actually came up and opened up in the javelin. He's been asking me for weeks. He's like, Coach, I want to throw. I want to try it out. Derek Washington from Houston. He's our first leg of the football when that joker came out and threw something really, really nice for us on yesterday. And, of course, we had the 200-meter runs. So Terrence Thompson ran a really, really good time. He ran under 21 for the first time in his career, and we're looking for him to have a big deal. Men hammer throwers, they came out there, all 3 of them, they came out in PR yesterday. They all sitting, in the top 12 in the conference. So, yesterday was really, really huge for us, and that's the events that we did yesterday. Even our lady javelin throws, they did well yesterday, but all the other events are geared for today. So this is going to be the meat of our day as far as the track goes on today.
Overall for the event, excuse me, guys are moving on from yesterday to today. How pleased have you been looking at your squad, and has any other those track teams stood out to you that you named that are participating this weekend?
Always, Grambling going to have a few that's really good, and Southeastern going to have a few that's really good. And Alcorn going to bring, they're going to bring some flavor to it. And Dillard got some kids that can run also. But on the bluff, we in the jumping events right now, we got 3 guys in 4 events sitting at the top 30 in the country right now. So we are extremely excited about that, and we know our 4x1 men going to run pretty fast, and we know we got a Camille Lewis in the 400 hurdles. She's going to do pretty well for us and everything like that. So we're pretty excited about that. So we're looking for our kids to kind of move a little bit forward and hit some bigger times, hitting some further distances in the jumps, the throws, the distance. We're looking for it. So we're looking for this meet to be a big meet for us because we started out pretty hot yesterday with those kids competing at home. And, when you compete at home, they're accustomed to it, they're used to it, and they're just ready to go out there and have fun.
Have you got any shocks from any of those teams who probably have never been on the campus of Southern University, let alone see the track facility and realize how big A.W. Mumford Stadium is when you step in there? What has been that response that you've seen from track coaches and other track programs as they come in and see you guys' facilities?
They love the facilities, but the most important thing, they say that track is fast. They like running on that blue and gold track. They love to do that. Southern University have one of the largest track and field venues in the country, and people love to come in and run really huge meets at venues like that. And, we're fortunate enough to still have our track inside of the football stadium, and we're looking forward to hosting some bigger events in the future. And just to let all our listeners know that on March 2nd through the 5th, we're going to have the SWAC championships at our place. So that's going to be really huge for us. And the kids really love to compete there.
I got to ask this. When you say hosting the SWAC championships here in Baton Rouge on the campus of Southern University, that is really huge. How big is that for you, Coach? And how big is it for Southern to be able to do that and be able to have all of those schools right there on the campus and to show off your facility?
It's really huge. I mean, we're in Louisiana, we're in South Louisiana for that, and it's hot. Everybody likes to run in the heat. It's just a beautiful thing. And our facility, you're going to get some good times, some good distances, and everything like that. Not knocking none of the schools kind of like further up north, but we always have the great weather, and that's when the kids like to really compete in the great weather, and that's what we have. And just to correct myself from earlier, we May 2nd through the 5th, not more. I'm getting them AMs mixed up. That's all.
It's a long weekend for you, and I understand it. And to be able to do all of that, the Pelican relays, the SWAC championships, for your program, having that in Baton Rouge, and we understand what track and field is like in Louisiana, then in our next-door neighbor over at Texas. How big is it in recruiting to be able to do that on your campus and have potential future Jaguars or somebody who may be looking at Southern? How big is it for young people and recruits to come and check that out on your campus?
It is very huge. Mr. White, I'm going to tell you like this. We actually had the high school meet of champions conjunction with the Pelican relays, and the high school ran yesterday. They put up some hot times, and the high school coaches came. They said they're ready to come compete on it again. Actually, Scotlandville, they put it down yesterday. They ran like one of the top 15 times in the country in the men's the boys 4x2. And they brought their kids over. They did really, really well, and they was excited to go out there and compete on that track. And it's just a mile and a half away, and it's right there in Scotlandville. So in Glen Oaks, they came over. They did pretty well. So, they're gearing up. So they was excited, and we're looking forward to hosting more high schools in the future. And it's going to be huge for us, recruiting and everything like that. And the kids love to compete at Southern. So it's very huge in recruiting for us. And we love our kids from around the area also.
I always ask because no head coach can do it by himself, but you also have a staff that help you get this thing together, that do recruiting with you, that get these young men and young ladies prepared for these track and field events. As always, go through them so people can know exactly what our track staff look like and the work that they're doing.
Right. We have Coach Freddie Glover. He's our associated head coach, coach of sprints and the hurdles. He handles a lot of the recruiting for us, and he works really, really hard on that. We have Coach Ware, Coach Courtney Ware. She's from Indiana. She's from up north. She came down to the south. She coaches our jumpers for us, and she's doing a really, really great job. And last but not least, I can't speak more highly of Coach Esau Lawless. He's a Southern alum. Held some records back in the day in the distance events, and he do a really great job for us also. And we're looking at, I'm just excited to see, what my coaches bring in and working with the athletes and everything like that. And I'm just excited for my staff and everything. And they work really, really hard. And, anything I ask them to do as far as trying to get move Southern University forward, they're all for it. And, they tell me, like, look, Coach, we got to do this, we got to do that. But it's all for the betterment of Southern University and our student athletes. I got one more. I left someone out. Coach Tawana White. She actually one of our throws coaches, and she's our sprint coach also. So I don't want to leave her out. She works really hard also.
They put some respect on her name, Coach. For anybody that's looking to come out to the Pelican Relays today, what are the times? What are the events, and how do they get tickets? And give them all the information they need, Coach.
All right. So our field event starts at 9:30 today, and the running event starts at 1:30. They can get tickets at the northeast portion of the stadium and the ticket booth where they normally have it for football, and all the spectators can sit on the west side of the stadium. And if you're coming into Jaguar Park to come watch the field events, you still got to go to the northeast side of the stadium, get a ticket, and you come on in and get some good. You see some good performances and everything like that, and see how kids really perform with how it needs to be performed on the bluff.
And I got to ask, because somebody out there may have heard your voice for the first time. Let them know where that accent come from, Coach. Let them know what part neck of the woods you're from.
All right, I'm from Donaldsonville, Louisiana, but I live in Lafayette, Louisiana, so I got that whole South Louisiana in me. So that's where I'm from, and I love it here. This is my port. So I got the whole South Louisiana in me from, you could just say from New Orleans all the way to Lake Charles. I got that whole accent in me.
I know, because somebody's out there going to ask, they hear your voice and they hear that accent, and they may not have heard you say anything before. They say, man, where is he from? Because he sounds like Louisiana, okay? Can you cook like you're from Louisiana?
Hey, look, I can cook like I'm from Louisiana. I can make it taste anyway, So look, Mr. White, they might ask you about that gumbo. I cook the best gumbo.
Oh, I like to hear that. But, Coach, man, I appreciate you for coming on this morning, man, as always, man. Big weekend on the campus of Southern University. Of course, Coach Brittany Williams came on and talked about softball, but as well as track and field. And one more time, Coach, the times of the events and as well as where they go get the tickets for today's events if they want to come on campus and check out the Pelican Relays.
9:30 field event start. 1:30 track event start. They can get tickets on the northeast side of the stadium, and they can sit on the west side, which is the home side. We're looking forward to everybody to come out to the bluff today. And we not only have track and field going on, we actually got tennis going on, baseball, and softball. It's a great time to be on the bluff.
You know what I love about it? Because Coach, when they come on, just don't talk about their program. They're promoting the other programs as well. Coach Williams did the same thing. So that shows that camaraderie of what you guys have of supporting each other and those student athletes supporting each other. And that's just the pride of Southern University athletics right there, Coach. I love it, and I appreciate you for coming on this morning.
I appreciate you also, and y'all have a great one.
Go Jags. Go Jags. My cuz from the other side, Coach White, Southern University head track coach. The Pelican Relay is going on this weekend, so you guys make sure, as you heard, get out there and check it out. A lot of schools from around the region, colleges, and be able to go out there and support your Jaguars, anybody. If you just love track and field again. Let's get ready to take a break. We're going to get ready to close out this hour, get to the top of the hour. Remember, 8 o'clock, we're going to have Coach Chris Crenshaw coming on talking to us about Southern versus LSU earlier this week. We'll be able to break that game down as well as them hosting UAPB this week. So y'all stay tuned. Mike, take us to a break. We'll be right back. More to Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White. And what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss. And a nice catch. Ricks on the 1st and 10. Little draw play. Takes it outside. He's got the 1st down.
But Ricks going to take it up.
All right, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody out there listening as we keep the show rolling. I am Perry White. Good to have you guys with us. I am out of the studio. I'm up north, way up north. Well, Illinois, and listen, let me tell you guys, enjoy the warm weather down south because it is cold up here. I have to bring out the special coats, all right, the special ones. The coats I don't need down south, the boots and all that. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves down south, man. Big weekend on the bluff down there in Baton Rouge. Of course, the Pelican Relays. Thank Coach White for coming on, talking to us, giving us the insight and the information we need. And as well on the other side, talking to Coach Brittany Williams, W University softball, having her talk to us about the softball team. They're hosting Pine Bluff this weekend. At the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have my guy, Chris Crenshaw. Say that 5 times fast, Chris Crenshaw. Coach Chris Crenshaw. 5 times fast, the Southern University head baseball coach. He's going to talk to us about the big win. Media around Baton Rouge didn't really want to seem to talk about. I listen to the other sports stations, radio, hear what they say and what they don't say. They seem to want to talk about Southern University's big win over LSU. I thought we was all Baton Rouge, but I guess we're not. I guess there's only one. But yes, that's why we got the Jaguar Journal. We're going to talk about it here. And we're going to hear from the head ball coach himself, Chris Crenshaw, as he's going to give us a recap of that Southern big win over there. Well, my guy Roger Kadar likes to call the Taj Mahal of college baseball. That is Alex Box Stadium. The Jaguars went in and got the victory over nationally ranked LSU. Defending national champ LSU. Big for the Southern University baseball program. Currently riding a 5-game win streak. As you heard, tennis softball, baseball, track and field. So much going on the campus of Southern University today. Sounds like a day you get your lawn chairs, you grab the kids, you get a grill. You head over on the bluff and just enjoy yourself and just spend the day on the campus and help raise up the next generation of young Jaguars if you're right there in the Baton Rouge capital city area, to let them see why it is so prideful to be a Jaguar and why we love being on that campus so much to support our athletic programs and as well as lead them there to possibly get their education. Southern University is near and dear to my heart and everybody else's heart that I'm sure listens. And if it isn't, I hope to change your mind and make it near and dear to yours by the time this show over, as we do this each and every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Had an opportunity as we're talking about getting ready for baseball. Went by Wrigley Field yesterday, right? The Dodgers. L.A. is in town versus the Chicago Cubs, two of the largest city. I think L.A. is number 2 in the terms of second largest city in the country. Chicago is the third largest city. Some cold baseball being played. Listen, that wind was whipping yesterday, so it's a whole different world up here. But the Dodgers, and I saw a lot of Dodger fans as I was over in Wrigleyville yesterday, over by Wrigley Field. A lot of Dodger fans up here. Blue was all over the place. But, of course, the Cubs are blue as well, so it was just a sea of blue everywhere you looked. It was either a C or it was an L.A. on the hat. So good to be able to see that it's baseball, and it's that time of the year as well. It is track and field and so much more. So I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I'm having one myself. I'll be back next week in the studio along with my co-host, Miss Brandi B. Harris. She has some business to take care of this weekend. She'll be back next week and keep the show rolling with us, and we'll both be in studio. And I'm not going to lie, I love doing this show a lot better in studio. Doing it on the phone, it's just something that just takes away of me being able to be right there, looking right into that microphone, looking up at the screen, being able to see Mike give me all the numbers when I'm running over the breaks. Because trust me, the numbers he gives, I think Mike knows sign language. He throws a lot at me. So, but it's just something about not being in the studio. But I'll be back next week along with Miss Brandi B. Harris, and we'll keep this show rocking and rolling for you. But as was said before, softball today versus UAPB. Get a chance to go out there and check out Southern University women's softball if you're in Baton Rouge, and as well as the Pelican relays. Come on now. I'll see you guys when you're across town at the other track meet. That means you can go on the other side of town to the north side of Baton Rouge right there on the beautiful campus of Southern University. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that's listening because this is a very diverse audience listening on 107.3. But a lot of people in Baton Rouge have never even been on the campus of Southern University to see how beautiful it is and why we actually call it the Bluff. The most beautiful scenic area in the entire city of Baton Rouge, overlooking the Mississippi River. You don't got to go on the other side of town and stand over a levee and look down and walk over the levee. It is sitting high on the bluff overlooking the mighty Mississippi River right there in the back of campus across the street from the administration building. And I can assure you it is the absolute most beautiful view in the entire city of Baton Rouge, where you also see the Red Stick statue sitting very high above the Mississippi River. So if you're listening, just go over there to Southern. Just go check it out. Get an opportunity to see the campus. And don't let people misconstrue you of what you think Southern University is. Go see it for yourself. And trust me, there's a reason why we love it. And maybe you too would love it if you get a chance to go over there and check it out and see the view, see the stadium, see the school, and get an opportunity to see Southern University. Mike, I think we got to get to a break at the top of the hour. So, hey, be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on our Facebook. We got to get ready to take the break. When we come back, I'll have my guy, Coach Chris Crenshaw. We'll talk to Southern University baseball. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal, all right?
Southern was a little late to the game of football. They had started earlier in the CIAA up at Hampton and those schools up there. And when J.S. Clark became president of Southern University in 1914, he had already visited Tuskegee and these Howard and the other schools, and they had a football program. And he wanted to compete with them, not just in the classroom, but also on the football field. So it started as an intramural. We had intramurals when we first came in 1914 through 1916-17, and then the intramural program evolved into the varsity, into the football program in 1918. Coach Big Charlie Holmes from Colorado State. He came here as an assistant coach, but he took over around 1922, 1923, and he did very well through the early 20s. But he came up to 26. He broke even. He expected to do well, and 27. I don't find any records where he won any games there, and he was replaced. But the person he was replaced by was a legendary. Name is Bryce Union Taylor from the University of Southern California. Out there, he had been an All-American. He was the guy that stopped the four horsemen of Notre Dame, and then he went to Chaffin University in South Carolina at 27. In 1928, he became the head football coach at Southern University and athletic director, and he really put Southern on the map. He had a lot of firsts. First of all, he had the first All-Americans we had came under him. Therefore, he had the greatest winning percentage in Southern University. He won 85% of his game here, and he had our first undefeated season in 1931 when he was 7-0, and but he was not declared national champ, but he was considered for that. But he was our first great coach during that early period, Bryce Union Taylor. We don't want to forget him. Arnett W. Mumford, he's a national icon in coaching. He had coached 10 years in Texas, Jarvis Christian, Bishop, and Texas College. But the last 5 or 6 years at Texas College, he was very, very outstanding. He won 2 SWAC titles, and he had won a national black championship at Texas College and 35. So therefore, Southern was interested in getting him here, and Dr. Felton Clark was very instrumental, the person to get him here. But his impact it goes much further than Southern University and State of Louisiana. He won 12 SWAC titles, 10 of them at Southern and 2 at Texas College. And he won 5 or 6 national black championships. And also, he was very successful in the first interracial bowl game, the Fruit Bowl in San Francisco in 1948 when he played San Francisco State, and he won that game decisively. But his influence extended much further than the boundaries of Southern University. He was recognized nationally as a great coach. His winning record, he didn't coach over a period of 35 years, and a couple of those years they didn't have teams because of the war. But he won 246 games, second only to Eddie Robinson with his 402 game over 55 years, I should add. And so it always had loyal supporters, and they would follow the team everywhere. They would go in large numbers. So Southern became the team that everyone loves to beat. Loves every Saturday. It's the toughest game we have every Saturday. So if they don't win another game, they figure if they win the Southern game, they had a good season. And because we carry a large crowd with us everywhere we go too, so a lot of people like that. And we like to brag about how good we are. And of course that helps out. But it is a vista to the university, using the football athletics period to use that way to introduce the university to people who may not have known the university. Went through a period of 20 years, 30 years, I believe it was, after Mom, till we got Coach Pete Richardson in 1982, 83, and then he returned us to the glory years. Rivalry with Grambling has always been there because it's an intrastate rivalry. And we played Grambling a few times before 1948, but after then, we didn't play them anymore until we became a member of SWAC in 1959. But FAMU filled that void with Jake Gaither and A.W. Mumford. Those were some of the greatest games that you ever would see, and they became our main rivalry after 1948.
East Texas to Baton Rouge, Colby Cooper is coming to the Texas Club Friday, March 24th. Colby Cooper with special guest Logan Yankee, live Friday, March 24th. Get your tickets while they last.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about, and right now he's driving it quite well.
All right, we're back. It is the top of the hour. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good to have you guys with us this morning. Thank you to everybody that are paying attention and watching us on our YouTube Live. Hit that subscribe button. And everybody watching across on our Facebook Live, good to have you guys with us. And, of course, as I've said here on this show, I think a lot of the media around Baton Rouge must have been under a rock this week because I did not see the story and the talk about the way that I thought it should have been, the way that Southern University Jaguars went over to the other side of town and got a huge historical victory in the national champs, LSU 12-7. And, of course, nobody better to talk about it than the guy who coached them to that victory. And, Coach, I don't know, if you didn't hear anybody in the stands, I was yelling, bring them home, Coach, the entire game. So if you heard that, that was Terry White. So welcome to the Jaguar Journal this morning. Crenshaw, the Southern University head baseball coach. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Did you hear anybody yelling, bring them home, Coach? That was me. I was yelling to the top of my lungs.
I could hear a lot. It was kind of quiet in there.
It really was quiet, wasn't it? I like how you did that. Hey, okay, it was quiet. And you know why it was quiet? Because you guys went in there and put on a hitting display for everybody to see. But most of Baton Rouge wanted to ignore it, and I understand why. But guess what? We're going to bring it to the light right here and be as loud about it as possible because that was a huge win for not only yourself as a head coach, but for your program and for those young men who are now seem to be finding their stride as the season continues to take place and move forward. A big non-conference victory for you guys, out-of-conference victory. But now you guys are riding a 5-game win streak. I want to reverse it. Before we go to that LSU game, I want to go to last week's weekend series and give us a recap of last week's weekend series and how you guys fared before you came into that game with LSU.
Well, offensively, we got going. Like I've been saying the last couple of weeks, I just needed us to get healthy, to get our guys in the lineup, and our guys are in the lineup right now. We're playing pretty good, scoring a lot of runs. Wish we was pitching a little bit better, but that's a part of it. Sometimes you hit and play defense. Sometimes you pitch and hit. Sometimes you pitch and play defense. We just got to ride the wave right now and do what we can to limit the runs that we give up.
You're talking about a great coaching job as you're talking about dealing with injuries. A lot of people, you know, when you look at the wins and losses but don't quite understand sometimes what happens, what's going on with a team. You're getting into conference play. You guys have been around the country from Houston all the way over to Vero Beach, Florida, playing in the Andre Dawson Classic, and then going over playing in the Cactus Jack over in Houston. So you've been able to watch your team grow, learn more about your team, and then learn more about yourself, even as just a head coach, having to coach through adversity. And I think that's the best thing about it, Coach, adversity. And that's one thing about not only being a coach, but then also the players being able to learn about adversity as the season goes on. And how has the team responded with that adversity when you talk about those injuries and then finally getting people back?
We just had to play through it. I talked to them guys about adversity because as young men, we're going to face adversity when we get done playing the game, when we grow up, when they go into being dads and husbands. They're going to be in adverse situations all the time. The only thing you can do is just put your head down and keep working. But those guys knew we were banged up, and we knew we had some guys that was playing early that we thought would be contributors later. But they had to get out there and play early, and they did the best they could until we did to get our dues back.
That weekend series, you guys took on Prairie View on that Friday, a 7-5 victory, 11-10. And then the bats opened up on that Sunday game, 22-12, Coach. Being able to put up 22 runs, was it just power hitting from you guys, or did you kind of see the pitching go down for Prairie View, or was it just a combination of all of it?
It was a combination of all of that. We showed some muscle with a couple home runs, but we also sprayed the ball around the park, and those guys were aggressive on the bases. So it seemed like every time we looked up, we had a runner at second. I talk about scoring from second base a lot when we go over base runner during the week.
You talk about LSU, right? 12-7, you guys putting up 12 runs. That ninth inning was big, the way you just closed it out and just pushed the game away from LSU, who at times in that game kept getting runs, kept trying to slowly but surely get themselves back. But most importantly, Coach, I think I was most impressed not only by your hitting, but by your pitching and your fielding, that other side of the game. For you, when you looked at that team, first, what did you say to the team before you guys even went out and took the field to take on LSU?
I just told them we just got to play our brand of baseball. Coach Perkins had a speech with him before we got off the bus. I told him we got to play the way we've been playing and keep your head up. You can't put your head down in this game and just keep chopping away. And they made a few mistakes, and we kept adding pressure, and we got some timely hits.
Break this game down for the people out there who may have been under a rock this week and may not have known or seen, but you guys jumped out early, and it was a big day for you guys. Jumped out early on LSU. As you look at who are the guys that made this possible out on the field for you that day?
Tyler Hawkins had a good game. He was one of the ones that was hurt, that missed four weeks, I believe. He's been back in the lineup now the last 3, so he was one of those guys who was waiting on. Donnie Sanford, he hit a home run. He'd been out 5-6 weeks. He was waiting on him to come back. And then Ron Ollison, senior, he stepped up and had a big moment with the bases loaded. And Logan Sanders, he had another at-bat where he put the ball in play. And the guy had to make a decision if he was going to make the play or not. And we scored 2 runs off of that. So.
Yeah, the cheer after the game, Coach?
Nah. And Antoine Harris, I got to give him some credit. He was really good in his relief appearance to get us to the 8th inning where Jerry came in and closed the door.
Your phone has been blowing up all week after that win, congratulating you. What has that been like for you? Because, listen, SWAC games, and I've been big on the non-conference, out-of-conference game, but listen, you're able to go cross town and beat the team that everybody always expects to beat you, no matter what it is. They're always going to have them the favorite. And for you to go in and consider basically the underdog and go in and come out with a dominating performance and a victory, it has to be special for you and coach, and then for people to be able to call and congratulate and say, hey, man, that was a hell of a win, big-time win for not only you but for the program on the national stage.
Yeah, it was surreal to receive all the messages and phone calls. But I enjoyed it that night, and I enjoyed it on Tuesday because we had the day off. But Wednesday hit when it was time to practice again. I was getting ready for this weekend. But, yeah, it was big. The kids got to enjoy it. Some of those guys will be able to tell that story for the rest of their lives, especially the ones that contributed.
You guys are now rolling, taking on UAPB this weekend. But one thing I will say, you guys have won 9 out of your last 10 games, right? The only loss was a week ago during a midweek game against UNO, but 9 of your last 10, and that's a stat that I think a lot of people have not paid attention to. I know the LSU win was big, but 9 of your last 10 is huge. Your team, as you said, coming back from the injury. What are you saying to get these guys really prepared? You get into the brunt of the conference schedule, Pine Bluff, you got the victory yesterday, to just keep them going and realize, hey, guys, we got something special going on this year.
That's what I tell them. It's your story. I'm the driver right now, but it's your guys' story. And whatever you want this story to be, it's how we're going to play and how we're going to show. And right now, I can't say we balling. We playing good. I'm proud of it.
Carlos James over at UAPB. I know Coach James really good. What is this series with UAPB? You guys win yesterday 13-11. You have UAPB again today, first pitch at 3 o'clock over at Lee Hines Field. What are you seeing from this UAPB ball club? And this is my mom's alma mater, and I know you from up that way in Memphis. A lot of Memphis people I've seen in the past have gone over there to UAPB. But from the Golden Lions, what do you see out of them as a ball club that you guys are taking on this week?
They're scrappy. They got a 3-hole hitter that's hitting above 500 right now. He's kind of picking them up when they get runners in scoring position. They're scrappy. They're going to play hard. It's always a battle when we play UAPB. They just don't come in and lay down. They fight to the end, and it's a credit to what Coach James has done over there.
James, he kind of sits in the dugout. He has his shades on. He just had that little mean mug. He just the whole game. He don't really move or do too much. He kind of just sit there and watch you the whole game. He's a very entertaining guy. I've seen him entertain the crowd at Lehigh Field in the past before. And for you, Coach, what is your approach as a coach when you look at a team? Every coach has their own approach, but for you, I know you're a real cool, kind of laid-back demeanor, but for people out there that may not understand, what is your culture philosophy and how you bring about getting the best out of these young men?
I'm real intentional to detail. I'm fired. I get fired up. Y'all can't see me in the dugout when I get fired up. I want these guys to go out there and do well, show well. Like, we really work hard in practice, and I want them guys to go out there and show what we do in practice. And it's frustrating when you see the guys do it in practice and they don't turn over to the game just yet. But I just keep faith and keep working, and they keep working with me. That's all I can say.
I always like to talk about the competition in the SWAC because you guys put on a performance that basically put a lot of people's attention back to the SWAC when it comes to baseball. For you, the level of competition, you guys have played a lot of opponents from this conference. And we know the East, when you look at Jackson State and Alabama State traditionally did, you bring in Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, who had good showings last year. In the West, it's Grambling, Southern. You look at Texas Southern, traditional powers. For you, looking at the overall landscape of the conference, what is your insight on what you see so far this year?
We're in a good place in the conference. It's competitive top to bottom. The Florida schools are doing well. The Mississippi schools, Jackson State, and Louisiana schools are doing pretty good. And then you got Texas Southern and Prairie View, Mississippi Valley, and Pine Bluff. They're all there, right there in the mix. Those kids play hard. Baseball as a whole is older right now because of the transfer portal and the COVID guys still being around. But in the quality of baseball, it has gotten better. We got some really good coaches in this league, and I'm just proud to be a part of it right now.
I was reading, I think Jackson State has a big hitter over on their team who is getting national attention. And that's why, because you said something about the transfer portal. How much is the transfer portal, let me ask two ways, hurting and helping this conference? Because I know you'll have a guy who can have a huge season here in this conference. And the thing is, how do I keep that guy? Let alone then you'll have a guy that'll come into the program using the transfer portal and can also be a help to the program next year. So on the baseball landscape, how have you seen it work not only for your team but for the conference as a whole?
I think as a whole, the transfer portal has been pretty one-sided for our conference because our best players are going in the portal to go to better situations where they think there's better situations. I know Texas Southern had the player of the year. He went into the portal. He's playing at LMU. I had Nick Wilson. He was our Friday night pitcher. He went into the portal. He's over at Dallas Baptist now. But on the back end, I got Tyler Hawkins out of the transfer portal. I got another kid, Dominic Joseph, out of the transfer portal. So it's hit and miss. I say for the guys that really want to play baseball, we're going to benefit there. But the guys that's in there looking for NIL money or looking to go to the bright lights, that's going to hurt us every time. But it all goes back to how you treat your players. But, my situation with Nick Wilson was different than I think with a lot of other coaches' situation who kids went into the portal. Nick went to a school where he went back home. He was from Dallas. Dallas Baptist gave him opportunity to go. So, I mean, his family gets to see him pitch. They get to make every game that he plays at home. So it was like a win-win for him.
And, Coach, I want to ask from the other side, from your perspective, what is that like when the season over? And you see it all across the college athletic landscape these days. When the season is over, you'll see a guy throw his name in the transfer portal. Some withdraw their name and go back to their school. But what is that like as a head coach to talk to a guy? And, I will hope the young men and young ladies or whoever in that transfer portal that they have that sit-down conversation with their head coach and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. But as a coach, what is that like when you sit down with them and that whole transfer portal conversation comes to a topic?
You talking about a kid leaving our program or coming into it?
Leaving the program.
It's a tough situation because you see the kid for what he is, and somebody else see him for what he could be. I had a couple of people upset about when Nick, like for instance, when Nick went in, but I told him, hey, he came here, he did well, he did what I asked him to do, he did well on the USA team. He put himself in a situation to be courted by other schools. I think he was courted before he went into the portal for him to go into the portal, but it is what it is. For me, it's all about the kids. So I'm going to do what I'd do it again if I had to.
Talking about the kids, give us some names, Coach. I know you gave us some names of some guys that stepped up big in the LSU game, but like I said before, you guys are winners of 9 of your last 10 games. You guys are rolling right now on a 5-game win streak. Names of guys on the team so their names can ring out there over the airways, over the internet, and as well as to the Jaguar fans so they can get to know these student athletes a lot better because it seems like you guys are on to something special this year.
Yeah, you got Tyler Hawkins, Cameron Bird, Kyle Radcliffe, KJ White, Dominic Joseph, Donnie Sanford, Dylan Jones, Antoine Harris, Renard Graves, Christian Davis, Jerry Burkhead. I hate to leave somebody out. Drew Lassane. All those guys are performing right now at the best of their abilities, and we're playing good team baseball right now. Somebody mess up, somebody else pick them up. And Jalen Mack, he's playing in the middle of our line. He's hitting in the middle of our lineup. He's solid. And we got a couple other guys that we got to get going, and I think when we get those other guys going, we'll be a real force.
And not only just yourself and this team, man, talk about your coaching staff that are helping getting these guys prepped and ready as well.
Yeah, TJ Perkins does an awesome job in the weight room, motivating them, talking to them, keeping them locked in. Will Allen, he's doing a good job with helping me with the pictures and doing scouting reports. Justin Wiley is doing a good job with the infielders. And Coach Marcus Smith is doing a good job just making sure everything is flowing. Because he came in January, so he's still learning the guys and trying to see what makes them go. So he's not very hands-on, but he will step in and hold a conversation with somebody to talk about some stuff. He's still trying to get comfortable.
Let me tell you this. You guys go over and get LSU. You know, I just like yourself, man. Hey, Coach Kerry Jackson, that's my dog. That's my boy. Hey, tell him, hey, come on down here to Baton Rouge next year with Missouri, man. Tell him to come on.
We've had some talks about that. I think they come to Baton Rouge. I don't think they come next year, but I think the following year. But I know we'll play against them early in the year in the Andre Dawson Classic next year.
Who's going to participate in that?
It's going to be in Florida again.
That's going to be big. That's a big game, man. Yeah, you tell them to come on down here. He got to just take on LSU. That's the other school over there that beat LSU as well. Bring that ball club down here because guess what? Ain't nobody scared of the SEC because you guys went over there and did it, made national news. And, Coach, congratulations to you. Congratulations to your ball club. I know there's still plenty more to go, and that's another thing about keeping your team level-headed. I know there's a lot of excitement and a lot of hype that comes after when you do something nobody expects for you to do, and it creates a lot of attention. But keeping these guys on track, winners of 9 of your last 10 on a 5-game win streak, you guys seem like you're on to something special this year. And if anybody out there has not opened your eyes and started paying attention, I would tell you, open your eyes and start paying attention this year. Southern University baseball, this team has something going, and the head guy right here, Chris Crenshaw, knows what he's doing with this team, as he said, coming back from injury. So, Coach, I appreciate you for coming on this morning. You guys are taking on UAPB this weekend. Give the people the time of the games, the 2 remaining games that you have against the Golden Lions.
We play today at 3 o'clock and Sunday at 1.
Now, that's my mom's alma mater. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Coach Williams on softball because they're hosting UAPB, right? Hey, get the dub, but don't beat them too bad. Now, I like to talk noise to my mom, but she'll get defeated real quick. But you know what? I don't care what you do, because just come home with the W. That's all I'm asking.
All right, I will.
All right, thank you, Coach, for coming on this morning, man. I appreciate it and enjoyed the conversation.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, that is the voice of Coach Chris Crenshaw, Southern University head baseball coach. Good to have him on. Give some insight into the program. Southern with the big victory this week over LSU on Monday night, 12-7. Southern with the bat swinging. Winners of 9 of their last 10. I want to make sure that you guys understand that just wasn't something that happened. This team is really on the roll. 5-game win streak. Winners of their last 9 of their last 10. They won last night against UAPB. They take on UAPB again today to close out the series tomorrow right there in Baton Rouge. So, once again, a lot going on at the Bluff. You have tennis match, Pelican relays, softball, and baseball. It's just a great day to take your family and take yourself over there across the hump and be able to hang out and just get a chance to check out Southern University Athletics. So make sure you guys do that. Thank Coach Crenshaw for coming on. Now, get ready to take a break. Back for a short segment, I'll do some more talking to you guys, and then we'll come back on the other side and talk some Southern University football. So good morning to everybody. First of all, if you're just getting here, good to have you guys with us. So, hey, Mike, let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back. I'll do something short with you guys, and then we'll keep it rolling, all right? Stay tuned. This is Jaguar Journal.
What a great... Darus Skelton has really had this wave of momentum for Southern.
Yeah, first-year player in this program. I love his decision-making. He makes quick decisions, particularly when running the run-pass option game. That's his specialty. He's been an impact for this offense since he took over as starting quarterback.
Well, Darus Skelton is a dual-threat quarterback. He can throw the football. He's very good at throwing the ball down the field. We're going to work on this spring those intermediate passes, but down the field, he's one of the better down the field passes that I've seen.
Play action, Skelton going for it all, has a man, and hauling it in is Hunter Register.
And then when you talk about running ability, he has running back capabilities. He can go the distance. He has the speed to go the distance. He has the power, and he has the vision. And I think when you put that with a dual threat quarterback, I think he's the reason why we're so happy about this coming season.
Skelton feeling the pressure. Skelton eludes a couple of tacklers. He's still on his feet. Oh my! Little shake and bake juke move, baby.
Being a quarterback, man, it's not easy at all. It was hard being here and having the expectations to be the starter and not being the starter. It was overwhelming. Like, I was ready to play, and not playing when I was ready to play just made me kind of look at life differently and really think, should I be here or should I not? And I talked to God, and he just settled me down, and he told me to be patient. That's what I did.
Skelton, who started the last 6 games of 2018 for the Jaguars. They went 5-1. Their only loss to Alcorn State in the SWAC title game. Taking the jet sweep, and Skelton awfully good with his leg. Blitz. Register, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Nice grab. All who have had an impact here in the year lowing. Southern still. Skelton comes up for the 3rd time. Taking the jet sweep, he'll keep it. A good lead block as he cuts it to the outside. The fake to Ben. Skelton will run. And dragging with them for a few yards. There he is. The time, stepping up into the end zone, has Register. Flag down, catch made, touchdown, and it's actually... First quarter yards, Southern 121, McNeese 40. Fresh set of downs as we begin the second quarter. And looking deep, Skelton for Register.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
All right, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. I want to thank Coach Brittany Williams coming on talking about Southern University softball. Get over there today to the softball field and take it on UAPB. Coach White and my cousin from over there down in the bayou, right, taking on as the Pelican Relays this weekend right there on the campus of Southern University, A.W. Mumford Stadium and Jaguar Park. Go over there. Beautiful facilities for track and field. And as we said, they're going to be hosting the SWAC Championship track and field events here coming up soon in May. So thank him for coming on. Then, of course, Coach Chris Crenshaw coming on, give us some insight about Southern University baseball, the winning streak that they're on, where you've seen the program in terms of turning the tables, and being in a position right now to have some success. They have Pine Bluff also this weekend. So to have him on, I know local media has not really done a great job, in my opinion, to highlight that it was just a game that happened and went on. But we're going to highlight that because it's our pride, it's our heritage. That's what the Jaguar Journal is for, to talk about what our Jaguars do on and off the field, the court, and whatever else it may be. And that one right there was huge for us when you're talking about being able to get a victory. And for that one time of the year, our team was better than that other team, and I love it anytime it happens. Now I'm ready to see it if we can get it in basketball, right? I'm ready to see some LSU and some basketball. We've seen it in football. I know the difference, the discrepancy. I want to see is in some basketball, as I've seen them do it in tennis, play them in tennis. We played them in some soccer, played them in some baseball, but let's see what it's like in basketball. You know, I'm kind of excited to see what the future holds. If we can do a home and home with them, wouldn't y'all like that? Don't like it, I would. So, hey, it is what it is. Let's get ready to take a break. Come back, I'll try to wake up Jim Klein-Peter, see if he's ready to go. We'll talk about some Southern University football, give you some updates with Southern University football host this spring game next week. So get you guys built up and ready, okay? So y'all stay tuned. We'll be back. Mike, let's go to a break. We're the Jaguar Journal. It's on the Yard Sports, and I'm
Darus Skelton has really had this wave of momentum for Southern.
Yeah, first-year player in this program. I love his decision-making. He makes quick decisions, particularly when running the run-pass option game. That's his specialty. He's been an impact for this offense since he took over as starting quarterback.
Well, Darus Skelton is a dual-threat quarterback. He can throw the football. He's very good at throwing the ball down the field. We're going to work on this spring those intermediate passes, but down the field, he's one of the better down the field passes that I've seen.
Play action, Skelton going for it all, has a man, and hauling it in is Hunter Register.
And then when you talk about running ability, he has running back capabilities. He can go the distance. He has the speed to go the distance. He has the power, and he has the vision. And I think when you put that with a dual threat quarterback, I think he's the reason why we're so happy about this coming season.
Skelton feeling the pressure. Skelton eludes a couple of tacklers. He's still on his feet. Oh my! Little shake and bake juke move, baby.
Being a quarterback, man, it's not easy at all. It was hard being here and having the expectations to be the starter and not being the starter. It was overwhelming. Like, I was ready to play, and not playing when I was ready to play just made me kind of look at life differently and really think, should I be here or should I not? And I talked to God, and he just settled me down, and he told me to be patient. That's what I did.
Skelton, who started the last 6 games of 2018 for the Jaguars. They went 5-1. Their only loss to Alcorn State in the SWAC title game. Taking the jet sweep, and Skelton awfully good with his leg. Blitz. Register, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Nice grab. All who have had an impact here in the year lowing. Southern still. Skelton comes up for the 3rd time. Taking the jet sweep, he'll keep it. A good lead block as he cuts it to the outside. The fake to Ben. Skelton will run. And dragging with them for a few yards. Darius. The time, stepping up into the end zone, has registered. Flag down, catch made, touchdown. And it's actually first quarter yards, Southern 121, McNeese 40. Fresh set of downs as we begin the second quarter. And looking deep, Skelton for register.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
All right, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody out there. I'm Perry White. I am out of the studio, so y'all bear with us with anything today. I'm up in Chicago. My man Mike holding it down in the studio, and as we continue to keep the show going, of course, he's no stranger to the show. As always, keeps you going and keeps you reading. Most importantly, my man Jim Klein-Peter for the Advocate. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Perry.
All right, it's that time of the year. We're talking spring football, and everybody's been reading those articles you continue to put out because guess what? They just soak up so much Southern University football, Jim. They can't get enough of it. And you put out an article earlier this week, and it was something in particular about Kobe Dillon. Talk about that article and what you found out about that young man.
Yeah, he's got the running back position all to himself in the spring practically with Kendrick Rhymes and C.J. Russell. I don't think they've practiced, either one of them, because of injuries. And so Kobe's getting all the work, and Braylon Morgan's getting a few snaps behind him. And so, from what I can tell, he looks rock hard. He says he's 193. Doesn't look like there's an ounce of fat on him. I think he's going to have a really good year. I don't know how they're going to use him. But he's gonna be a factor on this team because they want to run the ball.
Look at Kobe Dillon coming over to this program. For you, as you seen him transition, remember, everybody, he was a quarterback coming out of high school, won a state championship as a high school quarterback, became to Southern in transition. Do you think he still has any of that quarterback skill still left in him, Jim?
He's not getting any snaps there. I wouldn't be surprised if they have some kind of a Wildcat package for him again. I really thought, they tried to do it last year. It didn't work very well. But, I mean, I don't know how much they put into it. I like him in that spot, though, because he's a hard runner. He's not that big, but he's a hard runner. He bounces off of people. You can't just push him down. He's got good balance. And like I said, he looks like he's in the best shape he's ever been.
Kobe Dillon, one of those guys, when you look at him, he has that look of focus during games if anybody's ever paid attention to him while the game is going on. So it's good to see him healthy back into that spot, Jim, and I hope he can be the workhorse because, as you can recall, and many others, he had a SWAC rushing record against UAPB a couple of years ago.
That's right. It was a school record. He broke Leonard Tillery's single-game record with 267 at UAPB, but he missed that whole next year. That was in 2021. And he missed the whole next year with a knee injury, and I don't really think he was 100% last year. He got a few carries. He had 16 carries all year. So I really think they've got to use him. He's such a good athlete. He can catch the ball too. So they're going to throw to him. I think they're going to throw to the backs. All those backs can catch, and that's going to help this offense tremendously.
Aside from him, who would you like to see, as we like to call that thunder, lightning, that 1-2 punch? And even with the guys that are injured, who would you like to see for you, Jim, that to step up in that role that you think could be that good 1-2 punch coming out of the backfield for Southern University aside from Kobe Dillon?
Well, Kendrick Rhymes, there's no reason he shouldn't be the starter. You know, he's got an injury. It's a hernia, though, so it's not like a knee or an ankle that's going to, slow him down too much as far as mechanically. So I like Kendrick Rhymes. I mean, he's done a great job for 2 straight years. A different type of back. He's a guy that's he looks like a wide receiver because of his height, and he can catch the ball too. He's got soft hands. And then C.J. Russell is a guy who can give you a little, a little strength, a little inside running. I'm not exactly sure why I don't know what the nature of his injury is. But both of those guys, this is 3 good running backs they've got, and they just got to get the offensive line settled.
You look at this running back room and the potential, and let's just go off the potential. You've seen some Southern University running back rooms over the years, Jim, and have written a lot about them. With the potential that you see, and I'm just asking off the potential, where do you see this one of the past of you seeing running back rooms of Southern University?
Yeah, well, potential is a tricky word because that means you haven't done it yet. But I see this room as good as any that they've had. I didn't see Leonard Tillery. I wasn't covering the team then. He's the standard, I think, that you judge everybody else on. I haven't seen that yet.
Tillery was the room, Jim, okay? It was Tillery.
Yeah, I'll go with that, but I haven't seen any Leonard Tillery's out there yet. But I the potential is there. Like I said, you got to do it, though. And the thing is, having 3 backs like that, I think you need 4 because people are going to get hurt. Running backs take a lot of shots, direct shots. So it's hard to keep them healthy through a season. So I don't know, Braylon Morgan's the guy that they're talking about using him kind of as a hybrid. They're going to line him up on the, in the slot, I think, and throw the ball to him. But Southern's got a couple of guys coming in, a couple of running backs coming in this summer. So that'll beef up the room a little bit.
Yeah, Braylon Morgan last year, they used him in the return game some. I think the biggest key on him is ball control, being able to hold on to the ball. That would be the biggest thing. I would go with Braylon Morgan. But he is a shifty, fast guy, real small back. But he has to work on ball security, I think, with Braylon.
Absolutely, yeah. They ran some reverses with him last year, and he did some fancy stepping. He picked up he made some big gainers. So I like them using him like that. You run him in that motion play, and the speed sweep is good when you got a guy that can run like that. But you're right. He's still young. He's got to get stronger and more aware of holding on to the ball, securing it, putting it away, carrying it the right way. I mean, I've seen some backs with it. They got it out there in one hand. That ain't going to get it.
You look around, Jim, for you as spring practice continues to go on. The spring game is next week. For you, just looking at this team and the development under first-year head coach Terrence Graves, has some experienced coaches out there, especially with Coach Fred McNair, with the addition to the staff coming from Alcorn, the former head coach there. What are you seeing as this team develops under first-year head coach Terrence Graves, and what are you learning about them?
Well, I'll tell you something I learned this week, and it's something that it's going to be a concern. Southern they're not going to play a game. They're going to just do a scrimmage, a blue gold scrimmage for the spring game. So it's going to be more like just a practice. Well, one of the reasons is they don't have enough offensive linemen. I think they've got 5 or 6 scholarship offensive linemen. They're filling in the second team with walk-ons and other people that, they're going to have to sign some offensive linemen. I think they probably have a pretty good starting 5. They've only got 2 guys back that played last year. That's Josh Trask and Cameron Foster. And Foster started 2 games. That's the only 2 games he played in. Now, he's a good player. He's going to be their left tackle. He's a McNeese transfer, and then Trask will probably be the center. But they're rebuilding that offensive line almost from scratch. That's going to be a concern, and then they're going to have to bring in some depth this summer, and it's going to take a while to get them together.
Jim, you just took all my pride out of me, Jim, just like you would.
Hey, man, I'm sorry to throw a wet blanket on stuff, but I got to call it like I see it. And I'm not saying that they can't do it. I think that they've got good coaches, and they just got to stick to what they do. I think they're going to try to protect their quarterbacks early in the season, and they're going to run the ball, and they're not going to throw it that much. So I think they'll open it up as the season goes on.
So it sounds like Coach Nivens, of all the coaches on this staff, is going to have the biggest job coming out of this offseason, going into the season, and fall camp having to try to whip together an offensive line, because we saw some highs and lows with the offensive line last year, but that's going to be big. I mean, there's a lot of positions I can take with a lack of depth on the team, but offensive lineman, Jim, is, that's what makes the motor work. It is the essential piece to the offense, and if you don't have that together, man, that's a huge loss.
Well, one thing, the new offensive coordinator, Mark Frederick, I think he took a look at the game film, and he was horrified at all the pre-snap penalties. And man, when we talked to him, that's one of the first things he brought up. He said we need to put some discipline in this group, because pre-snap penalties, there's nothing you can do about them. You just got to not do it. She said, I can teach a guy, technique so he doesn't get called for holding. But, if you're jumping, if you're not disciplined, if you're not focused every snap, it's hot, you're tired, it's the fourth quarter, you got to stay still. You can't jump off sides. You can't, make that flinch. That's awesome. That's the kind of thing that really kills a drive. A 5-yard penalty can kill a drive so fast. So he is really on about that. So maybe I think we'll see a little more discipline on that offensive line once they really get to playing well.
Yeah, we saw that last year with this O-line, the crucial drives on third downs, on downs where the team had opportunities to extend drives, and those just untimely penalties from the O-line position cost us and pushed us and bagged us back and put us in some tough spots. And, this was one of the positions when Coach Kenneth Berry, who was the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach, and for years, almost a decade, it seemed like if there was one position on this team that you knew was going to be rock solid every year, it was Southern's offensive line, who consistently put multiple guys in all SWAC positions, all SWAC first team, all SWAC second team. And now the transition that we've seen with Coach Berry, who went on to Benedict and now the head coach at South Carolina State, we're seeing the post-era of Coach Kenneth Berry and how important he really was to running that position of the O-line, Jim.
Yeah, and that was his position coach. He was the position coach for the offensive line, so he was with them all the time. I think he connected with his players, and I think you're right. Southern was always good. The first 2 or 3 years I covered Southern when he was the offensive coordinator. Southern ran the ball. They were physical. Their offensive line, it didn't matter who you gave the rock to, they were going to get yards, because the offensive line was dedicated, disciplined, and physical. And I think that's what Mark Frederick wants to bring back.
Yeah, I'm curious with this one. Outside of the O-line, that's something to circle and keep our eye on, especially trying to bring, because get some chemistry, some gelling, and keep those guys healthy as you move on season. Any other position for you, Jim, that has caught your attention aside from that running back and that offensive line?
Well, the red flag position is the secondary. Of their top 5 men in the secondary, there's only one coming back this year. And I was talking to Terrence Graves earlier this week, and I asked him about it, and his eyes lit up. He's like, hey, our secondaries, they're good. They have really been a surprise. So this is like the counterfall to the offensive line. This is a place where maybe they're going to be a lot better there than we thought. But he talked about Marcus Bourne and Leroy Bowers and Josh Alexander. And, they got to find another corner to step in for Kristen Davis opposite Rodney Johnson. But Horatio Johnson is a guy, he said, has taken over the leadership of that group. And he's a senior, and, he got in a lot of snaps last year. They moved some people around. With the safeties, they've changed some of their responsibilities, and they think it's working out real good for them. So the fact that they're happy, Luke Rose is another guy he mentioned. So it sounds like they got enough bodies. They'll probably have to supplement with some of the kids they got coming in this summer. But the secondary looks like it's not going to be as big a concern. I mean, that would have been my number one concern, just looking at what was coming back.
What is the impact of Coach McNair on this program so far? Former head coach and has success in this conference. What has the impact been so far with him being around this program? And can you tell that he's there with any form of impact?
Well, I'd say there's two places. Okay, yeah, he's going to coach tight ends, and he's probably a little overqualified to do that. But that's good because I think they want to use the tight ends. And this kid Dupree Fuller, I'm thinking he might bust out because I'm thinking Southern's going to have to, come up with a good third down option. Somebody in the short passing game. He's ideal. He's so big. If you put a linebacker on him, he can use his body to screen that linebacker off, make a catch, and move the chains. But I think the biggest effect that McNair is going to have is on the rest of the coaches. When you bring a guy in with that kind of resume, you just feel better about yourself as a coach. You feel better. You feel like if I miss something, he ain't going to miss it. He's going to suggest things in the offensive meeting rooms, things that work for Alcorn, things he's done. He brings a wealth of experience, and I think Mark Frederick and Terrence Graves are not going to be intimidated by him being there. I think they're going to like having him there, just like you like having, somebody who you respect to come in and point some things out. And, I don't imagine McNair is going to be here more than 1 year. And I think he wants to be a head coach. This is a landing place for him. And I think they're going to use him, and I think they're going to listen to him. I think he's going to have a really positive effect on the coaching staff.
And overall, I got to ask the main question because it is the quarterback position. Noah Biden is the oldest guy in that room with the most SWAC hours and experience, but he's going to have some young guys who are highly touted coming out of high school who are going to be competing for that job. You said in the past you don't quite think that they're ready and that you believe that they probably should go into the portal and probably bring in somebody else with some experience to go along with Noah Biden, more so than with those young guys. But for your insight, from what you see in your perspective, what is that quarterback room looking like as things ramp up for next week's scrimmage?
Well, I'd be surprised if Noah Biden is not the starter on August 31st. That's just because, he's just got so much of what the other two, can't give. They just don't have it. They don't have that experience. Biden is going to be more comfortable. He's been around. This is his fourth year. So, but I tell you, there has been a little bit of separation there. Jalen Woods is probably the solid number two, and that's because Xavier T said he's the local kid, and he's probably the favorite of a lot of people because they maybe saw him in high school at Scotlandville. But he said has been hurt. He's got a little shoulder thing. He didn't play in the scrimmage last Thursday. So Jalen Woods is probably the number two guy right now, and that's probably how we're going to see it next Saturday when they line up and play in the blue gold spring game. So that's something to think about. And he said he's a good athlete, but Jalen Woods is definitely got a little bit of an edge right now, just because he's been able to practice, get a few more snaps, and he participated in the scrimmage while T-Set sat out. And T-Set was back out there this week. So he practiced all this week, so it's no concern, I don't think, that big a concern over his injury. It's just something that was no reason to throw him out there in a scrimmage and risk him getting hurt.
Let me ask you on the other side of the ball, lining up against that O-line, who seems they're going to probably have their woes, but you're looking at that defensive line position, which will be big as well. What do you see from that D-line position?
Well, I think Davin Cotton, they're talking about Davin Cotton. He has regained his explosion. And that's what you need from a defensive tackle. You want a defensive tackle who can get off the ball and beat the guards or the center, beat them and get into the gaps and foul up plays and force plays, funnel the plays into the guys making the tackles. They're talking about Davin Cotton as the best he's ever looked. And he had a knee injury that he was coming back from all last year. And I'm telling you, this is just the way things are sometimes. You stay out a year for a knee injury, you're not 100% until 2 years later. You got to go through that one season where your confidence isn't there because you had the surgery, and in your head you're a little bit worried about that knee. But they're saying that he's coming off the ball, and so expect him to have a big year. And Kelby Gibbons, I mean, this guy just gets better and better, and I'm looking for a monster year from him. They got this guy, Darus Jackson, who sat out last year while he was getting eligible. I think he practiced with the team, and he is going to help them a lot. And I don't know, they may go into the portal for some more, but Darius Harry's the guy that can give them a pass rush too. Somebody on the end, on the other side, opposite of Kelby Gibbons. Last year, Harry didn't get into the game, and he was a third down guy. That's the guy you want rushing the passer, but he's a little bit. He's about 240, I think, but just not quite as good against the run. If he can improve that, he might get himself a starting job.
Well, Jim, man, I appreciate you for coming on this morning. As always, I love to talk football with you, and I love to get the insight in terms of the Southern University football program. And anybody out there listening, you can find Jim Klein-Peters' work. I'm sure you see it all over, especially Facebook, when everybody is sharing those articles about Southern University football. This is the guy that writes them, Jim Klein-Peters, and he's a friend to the show and a friend of mine. So, Jim, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning and being able to give us some insight and talk some Southern football with us.
It's my pleasure, Perry. You ask me anytime, I'm there.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for coming on. See you next week.
All righty.
All right. Klein-Peters, want to thank him for coming on. Mike, how long we have? Give me how many minutes we got? All right, want to thank Jim Klein-Peters from The Advocate coming on, talking to us about Southern University, giving us some spring football update. Of course, the scrimmage next week on the campus of Southern University at A.W. Mumford Stadium. You guys be able to make sure you get that information. And we'll be, of course, with the show next week, give you a lot more in depth of that. Want to thank Coach Chris Crenshaw coming on, Southern University baseball coach. They're hosting Pine Bluff this weekend over at Lee Hines Field, talking to us about their team in a position right now, winning 9 of their last 10 and currently riding a 5-game win streak. Southern University baseball looking good right now. Coach Crenshaw said his team is coming back from some injuries, and it is at the right time. Be sure to go over there and check them out. Big win over LSU. Make sure y'all know that. 12-7, the Jaguars go over to Alex Bach and get it done. Thank Coach White, my cousin from out the Bayou, Southern University head track coach. Pelican Relays going on today, ladies and gentlemen. You want to watch some good track and field events? Take yourself and your family right there over the hump and be able to go right there, A.W. Mumford Stadium in Jaguar Park. Watch some great track and field events. And then, homegirl, Coach Brittany Williams, Southern University head softball coach. They're also hosting UAPB this week on the Bluff. So UAPB both here in softball and baseball, and then you have the Pelican Relays. Tennis, Coach Jeff Conyers and tennis have that thing going on. I believe they said they start at 11 today. So a lot going on. Thank you to all of those coaches for coming on and talking. That's what the Jaguar Journal all about. Get an opportunity to talk to those coaches, give them the platform to sell that program, and give us the insight to those programs and let us know what's going on. So you guys that are listening can keep up with them and as well as go over there and get some tickets and support those programs and donate and do whatever else, man. I'm appreciative of being able to do this each and every week. As I said, I'll be back in the studio next week, myself along with Miss Brandi B. Harris. I'm up in Chicago. Hey, enjoy the warm weather if you're down in the South. It's cold up here. I'm letting you know right now. Cold, all right? Got to bring out all the coats. So enjoy yourselves. I'll be back in the studio next week. Shout out to my guy Mike, the producer extraordinaire, holding it down back there in the studio at Guarantee Broadcast right there in the 107.3 studio in Baton Rouge, man. Mike, as always, I appreciate you, man, and the way you handle things and get it done. And for everybody out there listening, I always appreciate you guys as well for tuning in and listening early on a Saturday morning to little old Perry White, man. I appreciate you. And for anybody that go back and watch the show after the fact, we thank you guys. Be sure to follow us on our Facebook page and as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel And I'll be back next week at the same time in the same place. As always, everybody, it's the Jaguar Journal. You guys have a good week.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook.